Whatever.
There's a lot of new changes in that receiver room this offseason, but he is
traveling.
not there.
Yeah.
Well, quarterbacks coach Tom Clements isn't concerned, doesn't think there will be any issue when Rodgers finally does join the team.
Aaron doesn't need reps at this time of the year, so I mean it's obviously be nice to have him here, but he's seen these things a 1,000 times, and he'll be ready to go when training camp starts. He's just he's at a different stage of his career now where he's taking care of himself in the working on what he thinks he needs to work on physically.
If they want to believe that, that's like saying, at this point, I don't need to do any prep for my show. I know when I'm ready. If you want to believe that, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Breeze Manning to the last day didn't believe that. Aaron has shifted to the summer and spring of Aaron. That's what's happening. Aaron is, here's a guy last year. We know he doesn't work with young receivers. We know he has trust issues. They got a young receiver last year. He threw him 4 catches all year. This year he's got Sammy Watkins, 3 rookie wide receivers. Yes. Didn't they just bring somebody else in, Joy?
They have Alan Lazard, Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, Juwan Winfrey, Amari Rodgers, Malik Taylor, and then 3 rookies, Christian Watson.
He has a relationship with
and Samari Torrey.
2 of those guys he's got a relationship with.
Yeah.
The other guys are just kind of Tom Brady was at Jesuit High School in Tampa.
In a pandemic.
During a pandemic, illegally working on relationships with stars. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, like Gronk. These are kids. You just think, he doesn't need any reps. That is the biggest bunch of bull. And the fact that Green Bay buys into it tells you Aaron still controls the operation.
I don't know if Green Bay does buy into it, but I don't think they have a choice.
No, that may be right.
I thought about this because, would I do voluntary stuff for work? Yeah, and I do all the time. And I'm pretty sure you do too.
Yeah.
There's stuff that we do that we don't necessarily get paid for or have to do or have to be at for work. We have to be here live doing this show every day. But that's what comes with the territory of certain jobs and certain positions and certain responsibilities. You don't have to be at voluntary workouts. And to your point, if they had secure relationships and had reps and reps and reps together, and this was a room that hadn't just been completely turned around, I don't even think this would be a story. Who cares? Of course, Aaron Rodgers doesn't need reps right now, but those guys do, and they need it with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to be at voluntary workouts. It's kind of an unspoken thing. If I'm supposed to be there, make it mandatory. But sometimes you have to do things that aren't mandatory if you're trying to be a champion and a winner.
And I also have a resume where Aaron has trust issues with his own family.
And you had the most catastrophic ending to a season
ever
in the league and got a complete pass for it, as the Packers always do, because nobody likes to be critical of the Packers. I know it's a thing, but that was a disaster. And if it was any other team, with the season that they had, as loud as Aaron Rodgers were, they would still be getting roasted on every show every day. But because it's the Packers, it's like, well.
They had 1 offensive touchdown against San Francisco, the opening drive on script. Not another one. Devontae Adams leaves. They lose their right tackle. And Aaron's like, just the messaging of it is, I'm too important to be there.
I just don't think they're a championship team.
Thank you. They're done.
It's not. I'm not outraged by it. You're just not. You're not somebody I consider capable of winning a Super Bowl, which is fine. Everybody's not going to win a Super Bowl.
Every time Aaron's at a coffee shop, somebody sends me a picture. I got like 30 of them.
Why?
I've seen more of him at coffee shops than I have in the last 6 months in the Packers. Well, last 3 months.
Drinking a lot of. Why coffee?
He's got a place in California out here.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't make it at home apparently.
Don't start that. You did that for 2 days. Not even 2 days. You made 1 day.
It is a ripoff.
Outraged at the price of coffee.
It's ripoff.
In coffee shops.
It's brutal. You think it's bad where you live.
You guys missed this rant. I didn't buy it for 1 second. Colin was so outraged at the price of 2 coffees that he insisted that he was going to make his own coffee in like a mug and bring it to work every day.
But that's tedious. So I eventually went back. But it's such a ripoff.
That's why they make money, because nobody actually wants to do that. We're halfway through the USFL season, and there's still one undefeated team remaining. The Birmingham Stallions lead the South Division with a 5-0 record and are looking to stay in the win column. They play the Michigan Panthers tomorrow. In the North Division, the New Jersey Generals are at the top. Since losing their opening game to the Stallions, they've rattled off 4 straight wins, so they will have a chance to make it 5 in a row against the Houston Gamblers Sunday on Fox. So here is the full schedule. Tomorrow, Tampa Bay Bandits against the Philadelphia Stars, Michigan Panthers against the Birmingham Stallions, and the Pittsburgh Maulers, who finally got a win, against the New Orleans Breakers, and Houston Gamblers against the New Jersey Generals. So that is your Week 6 schedule for the USFL.
Good stuff. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.
Started ripping Jimbo Fisher. And when anybody lashes out in life, that's why I don't take anything too personally on Twitter. When people lash out, there's 3 reasons psychologically why anybody lashes out. Jealousy, envy, and fear. Now, I don't think Saban's jealous or envious of other coaches, but there's some fear here. Texas A&M kicked his butt in recruiting last year. It was the best recruiting class in the history of college football. They got 7 of the top 34 players. Texas was also top 5. Texas Tech for next year leads the country. Texas is a big boy economy. Alabama is not. Nick is now at a resource disadvantage. That's why he's suddenly chirping about parity, which he doesn't give 2 you-know-whats about. What he doesn't like is losing dominance. Texas has a lot more money and a lot more resources, and I'm here for it. I miss the Texas Longhorns being great. I've been told forever Texas A&M is going to be great. I'd like to see both. College football is better when Texas is fantastic. Any Texas school. I grew up with the Southwest Conference. Now, they all cheated, but nonetheless, it was fun. I don't think the SEC dominating the sport, I don't think it's going to end the sport. I don't think it's good for it. Ratings, attendance, down into the tubes. People out west don't sit around wanting to watch college football in the South all the time. Texas, we've got a connection to Texas. It's a quick, direct flight. A&M beat Bama last year. Nick knows he's had a oil, energy money disadvantage. Mario Cristobal is going to cut off some Miami recruiting. Lincoln Riley's already shut the door on some California recruiting. And Texas, good luck stealing the best players from Texas now with Jimbo Fisher, Steve Sarkisian, those facilities, and that oil money. And Nick knows it. He's no dummy. People lash out for 3 reasons. Jealousy and envy, he's neither, and fear, he sees it. He's getting up there in age. These coaches are younger. Jimbo just beat him. They just hammered him in recruiting. Nick now came out yesterday and acknowledged he was a little over the top.
I should have never really singled anybody out. That was a mistake, and I really apologize for that part of it. I really wasn't saying that anybody did anything illegal and use a name, image, and likeness. I didn't say that. That was something that was assumed by what I said, which is not really what I meant, nor was it what I said. So there's nothing illegal about doing this. It's the system that allows you to do it, and that's the issue that I have.
The same system that allowed Nick to gray shirt kids 10 years ago, which most of the country thought was sleazy, but it was legal too. This is fear talking, and this is what it looks like. When people in power, he now doesn't control the players like he used to. They can transfer. He doesn't have the resources. And Alabama, according to a story, wants to pay all their players about $25,000 a year. That's cute. Quarterbacks now go for $1 million, the great ones. Defensive linemen have been going for $100,000 for years in the SEC. They just paid him through a church. Nick Saban had never lost to one of his assistants. He lost twice last year. Lane Kiffin building a power at Ole Miss, Sark at Texas, Jimbo at A&M, and Kirby Smart's got that puppy rolling at Georgia. Nick's getting older, a little less mobile, not as dominant. Players have power, money coming from different places. That is what fear looks like. Joy with the news. That goes along with stealing the best coach in college football offensively in Lincoln Riley, and they also stole the best quarterback from Oklahoma, Caleb Williams. 3 best transfers so far in the transfer portal have been Lincoln Riley, Jordan Addison, and Caleb Williams, and USC got all 3. I always roll my eyes at college fans. Occasionally, a great program like Kentucky, a great program like Arizona will be down. They'll make a bad hire. You see it in college football all the time. A great program. Notre Dame was down for years. Alabama was a mess. Florida was a toilet for a while. And once they get the right coach, they always rebound quickly. Let me give you 4 examples. Oklahoma with John Blake was a disaster. Bob Stoops got the job. Next year, 7-5. Next year, national champs. Urban Meyer took over for Ron Zook, who ended up at one point working in a bank. Urban Meyer, 9-3 to 13-1, won a national title. Remember what a joke Bama was with Mike Shula? Saban took it over 7-6, then 12-2. Brady Hoke to Jim Harbaugh. We thought Michigan was dead. There were empty seats everywhere. Nobody went to the games. 10-3 overnight. And those 4 coaches didn't have a transfer portal. They didn't have LA money in the NIL. Folks, if you don't get it, those who don't get it, don't get they don't get it. USC is going to be really good. Now, because the previous head coach not only couldn't recruit at a high level, he couldn't develop.